crafty friends, it's Joy here, and today I have a fun way to give a hot chocolate gift. We're going to use some 8-ounce jars to create a snowman. So I'm going to start by using my Cricut. I'm just using some regular vinyl. I'm using black and orange for my little snowman's face, and I picked out a file from Creative Fabrica. It's an SVG file. I will link that down for you guys below, and it was super simple. And I'm placing this in my Cricut. I used Cricut Design Space to upload my file, and now I'm just gonna cut that out. So we have his eyes, his nose, and his mouth. And I did do 2 buttons for his body. I actually just used the eyes again, so I cut another set of eyes, and that will give me the buttons for his body. I just thought it would be really cute. I've had these jars in my stash. They're just a really cute shaped. They're kind of squarish round, so they're round but have a little bit of a square sides to them. Like I said, they're 8 ounces, but they're little, and they're so darling because I love to make jalapeno jelly at Christmas time, and so these are the jars that I would use. So let me just weed back this vinyl. This is just Cricut vinyl. I got this from my local craft store. So there's his cute carrot nose. And what I did was I measured my jar where I wanted his face. I put that measurement with a shape into Cricut Design Space, and then I placed my face inside of those dimensions to make sure it was fit before I cut it out. So let me just burnish that down. Part of his little mouth wanted to stay stuck, but now we have his cute little face. Oh my gosh, he's so darling. Okay, so in my jars, I have hot chocolate and marshmallows. The marshmallow is going to be the face and the hot chocolate will be the body. But when you see me do this, I accidentally switched them around, but I just traded out the ingredients later on. So I'm just going to place my jar on this roll of tape. I will clean it with some alcohol before I put down this cute snowman face. I want to make sure that all the fingerprints, dust, dirt, oil, anything is cleaned off the surface before I lay down my vinyl. And I will do the same thing for my other jar as well. And you know, alcohol is so good because it dries so quick. So by the time I'm done cleaning this one, my first one is already dry. So again, I put the face on the wrong part, but you will see later that I did switch that out. Let's add some release paper to his face. And I just have one piece here, and I will reuse it for his nose. But I love this little project. It's so easy to do. So if you have any jars in your stash, this would be cute. Even if you just had one bigger jar, you could put the hot chocolate on the bottom and then the marshmallows on the top, and then just make your snowman face and body on the front, and that would be really, really cute too. So I'm going to pull back that release paper, and let's get his cute face on here. I'm going to make sure that it's centered up and down, side to side, but again, because I measured ahead of time, which you guys know I always say I don't measure things, but this I needed to measure, and it was simple and easy. It made this work so nicely. So let's rub that down, and then I can lift up the release paper. And then we have part of his face, and he's so cute. Okay, let's do his nose. Like I said, I'm going to use that same piece of release paper, because you definitely can use it a few times. Burnish that down. And then pull that off. Let's line up his carrot nose. And Creative Fabrica has a lot of snowman faces. I picked a really simple one, but there's a lot of really cute animated faces. I have a monthly subscription with them, so I really can go and pick any file I want, and they have just a lot of them. So just kind of an FYI to you guys. Okay, I'm going to do his body, so let's weed out the pieces we don't need. Again, these are just the eyes. I felt like the spacing was good. I only needed 2 buttons. I did feel like 3 would be too many, but you could do 3 if you wanted. So I did clean that off with alcohol. I made sure not to touch the front of it with my hands. And then I'm going to line this up. Then we're going to be using some felt for his hat and his scarf. I do want to still, when I made this design, what I had in mind is I still wanted to be able to open up the jar lids because we're going to glue this stacked on top of each other. But you can still open the lid, and having his little hat on, you can still open the lid. So those were the things I had in mind, but how cute is that? I'm in love. It's so darling. Okay, on my Cricut, I cut out a circle. I think it was about a 6-inch circle from some regular cardstock. That's going to be the foundation. Well, not the foundation, excuse me, the stencil for my felt. Now, this is not the 100% wool felt that I use for my ornaments. This is like the cheap felt that you get from your craft store. I didn't want to use the good stuff on this because this kind of stuff is like, it's stiffer. I'm not sewing it, so to me it's perfect for a project like this. So even though it's the cheap stuff, it still is good for something like this. So I pinned that in place. I'm going to trim around to get my circle. And then we're going to cut this in half. So actually you could get 2 hats out of this. So once we cut this in half, we are going to make a cone hat. Again, I'm going to have his hat up a little bit higher on his head because I still want to be able to open the jar. But now we can make a nice little cone. So we're going to bring in the glue stick, or the hot glue, the glue stick, and I'm going to start at the top and just hot glue that close and then work down. And you will have a little bit of overlap at the bottom. I did kind of mess around with how much overlap I needed to go around my jar. I think the jar was about 2.5 inches, 2 3/4 inches across the top. But that will fit right on top. You could also use fabric glue with this, but to me this is a quicker craft, so hot glue is the way to go. Then I have one of those big pom-poms, and I am going to pull it apart, kind of get it down to the center so I can glue it on top. Then I have this fun trim that looks like white little pom-poms. I added 2 layers here on the video, but I ended up adding a 3rd one off camera just so it would go down a little bit further. But this is a perfect finishing piece at the bottom. So I have this one gluing on top of the outside of this hat. The other piece will glue underneath on the inside of the trim. So I'm going to let it meet up in the back, and then I can just trim that excess off. And then here's where that little pom-pom, I'm just going to pull it apart to get to that center, add the glue there, and then push that down over the top. And so it just kind of pushes that point up to the center of it. Look at how cute that hat is. I love it. It's so fun. So I went to a different angle because I feel like this would be a little bit easier since top down is kind of hard. But I cut a piece of felt for his scarf. I'm going to add it around his body portion of the jar, and then I can tie it and glue it some more. So I'm going to tie it, pull it over. I kept him kind of matchy-matchy. I did want it to feel Santa Claus-like. So that's why I went with the red and white. But obviously you could do any color theme because that would be really cute. You could even give this outside of Christmas if it's, in wintertime, January, February, where it's still snowy and cold. But you could just do different colors and give this as a neighbor gift. But this is a fun Christmas neighbor gift. I have a lot of hot chocolate in there. I mean, my family likes really thick hot chocolate, so we could probably get 3 cups out of that, but you could get a lot of hot chocolate out of this 8-ounce jar. So I trimmed the ends of the scarf, glued it, tied it, making sure I could still open the jar, and you can. And I will add a little something to his scarf, but I think I got distracted by his hat. So a little bit of glue on top. I'm going to put his hat there. I didn't like that I could see a lot of that, the jar lid itself, so that's why I do want to add another layer of that trim underneath. But let's add a wooden snowflake to his scarf, a couple of these candy canes to the side of his hat, which I think is really cute. And then I have like a little sequence snowflake that I will add on top of that as well. So let me put that in place. And then let's add another little snowflake. I'm going to use my reverse tweezers. Oh, nope. I guess I didn't show that, but I did add a little snowflake to the center of that, but you can see it right there. Here's where I'm going to add another layer. This time I'm just going to glue it underneath, but directly to the lid. And then I will just slide this right underneath, and it gives it more of a fluffy look, and it covers up a lot of that lid, but I think he's so cute. And then you could add a Christmas tag to this, like a tag maybe around the top part of his hat, kind of hanging down, something like that if you wanted to. Met that around the back in the middle and adhered that down. Look at how cute he is. Oh my gosh, I love it. And then let's glue him together, his little head and his body together. A little bit of hot glue here. Put him down, and then let's take a look at how cute he is. I just am so in love with him. Look at how fun. My gosh, I love this. This is a great, easy, quick gift. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.